do our Heritage Studies lesson. Now you might be saying, who is that on the screen? Well, I don't know who it is, but this is going to be, this is just an image that I found on the computer on the internet, because we're going to talk about something that people do today. It's a career that people do. So you don't have to worry with what's on the screen right now. Let's go ahead and look in your book. Look at your book on page 40 in your reader book. Now on page 40, you're going to see a picture of one of Orville Wright's planes up in the sky, and then down in the corner you'll see a picture of the Wright brothers sitting on the back steps of their home. All right, so let's go ahead. We've been talking about automobiles, airplanes, bicycles even we talked about. This is our last lesson in this chapter. Okay, so I think tomorrow you're going to be working on your chapter review, or tomorrow you're going to be studying or something. I can't remember. Anyway, okay, let's go ahead and look. All right, on page 40, it says the Wrights offered their invention to the United States War Department. Their invention was the airplane, but they were turned down immediately. No one even came to see the airplane. The Army had given much money to Langley, only to see his aerodrome fall into the river. The Army leaders were not ready to spend more money on another flying machine. For 2 years, the brothers didn't fly or show their invention to anyone. The Wrights were waiting for a patent. Now, that's a very important word that you're going to need to know so that no one could steal their idea. A patent is it's almost like a written promise from the government that you created something. It is your invention and nobody else can take it from you. They still hoped the United States government would give them a contract to make airplanes for the Army. Finally, in 1908, the Army decided to give the Wright brothers a chance, but the Army wanted proof that the Wrights machine could fly a distance of 125 miles at 40 miles per hour with 2 men aboard. So Orville and Wilbur began working to meet the Army's requests. Charlie Furness, a mechanic and friend, was the passenger during the practice flights. Orville demonstrated the plane for the Army, and in 1909, the Army bought the first military plane. There could be no more doubt. The age of air travel had arrived. Turn the page. All right, let's look at skip page 41 and look at page 42. Now, God made people to rule over his world. Let's look at Psalm 8:6 right there on your pages in that orange box. Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet. So God has given us the responsibility as humans made in his image to have dominion over all those things that he's created. Now, throughout history, they've used parts of God's world to help them travel. In the last century, people have made amazing progress in how they travel. Consider today how it would be to ride to church in a buggy or travel to another state in a wagon. It would certainly slow down life in this decade. Think how our sleek modern cars would look to Henry Ford. Imagine what Wilbur and Orville Wright might think of space travel. In 1903, the Wright brothers made the first short flights in their simple flying machine. Little did they dream that only 66 years later, Neil Armstrong would step down from a far different craft onto the surface of the moon. Or that Armstrong would carry with him a small piece of cloth from the Flyer, which had skimmed the air at Kitty Hawk one cold December day. God has allowed man's progress to happen. Even though many people may not have believed this, God still used him to have control over what he made. Perhaps in the future you will make advances in transportation. So, who knows? Look at that chart down at the bottom. This is how far it would take hours to travel from New York to San Francisco. If you walked, 756 hours. If you went on horseback, 587 hours. Bicycle, 250 hours. Steam engine, 147 hours. In a Model T, it would have taken 70 hours. In today's car, 43 hours, and in a jet today, 5 hours. So to get from one side of the United States to the other by jet only takes 5 hours. How do you think, if Orville and Wilbur Wright were here to see it, or Henry Ford to see what we have done from what they did, do you think they would be impressed? I think they probably would be. Now, this is what I want you to do for your assignment. I want you to read page 41 on your own. That tells about something that people do. That's an air traffic controller. That's what I have on the screen right now. It's just a job that people have. So I'd like for you to read about that. It kind of just tells about what they do. And then you're going to do, for a grade, you're going to do work text page 31. It is a study guide page, okay? So it will be graded. Make sure and use your book to get the answers out of it, okay? So read page 41 and do work text page 31, okay? And that will be all your lesson for the day.